Good afternoon. It is 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and you're in tune with Rosemary's World of Cannabis on 710 Radio. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. I know we've been on a hiatus. The kids has been out, and you ever try to do a show with 6 grandkids running around? It just don't happen like that. We're going to get a public service announcement out the way real quick, and then when we come back, we're going to have the doctor in, Dr. Caroline Hartridge, MD. Let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. I almost dropped the ball on this, but I'll tell you more about that when we get these public service announcements out the way. You're in tune to 710 Radio.
Are you feeling like a shadow of yourself? Is your mood on its way down? You could be suffering from low THC, also known as cannabinoid deficiency, caused by 77 years of government interference via prohibition. Do you live in a medical cannabis state or the District of Columbia? Are you over the age of 18 and seeking non-toxic natural health, well-being, and peace of mind? Ask your doctor if cannabis may be right for you. After 10,000 years of recorded human use and 77 years of failed prohibition on the world's most extensively tested plant, the results are in. Cannabis has no known lethal dose and is arguably the safest and most comprehensive therapeutic substance known to man. Cannabis remained in the United States pharmacopoeia until 1941, and cannabinoids are currently patented by the federal government as an anti-inflammatory U.S. patent 6630507. Human brains have cannabinoid receptors. Cannabinoids are lubricants in the human body. Due to prohibition, our bodies have been denied essential lubrication. Imagine never changing or adding to the oil in your car. The use of cannabis for low THC may cause immediate relief, including a general feeling of well-being, chronic smiling or laughing, feelings of euphoria, increased creativity or clarity, a greater appreciation for music and art, the desire to dance, increased feelings of inspiration, compassion or unity, a need for truth and justice, or you may wake feeling more well-rested than usual. It's undetermined to know exactly how many symptoms the use of cannabis may alleviate because of federal prohibition. There were dozens identified in the 1909 Eli Lilly Pharmaceutical Handbook. Currently, over 80% of the population supports the right to use cannabis therapeutically, and 92% of its users have declared significant non-toxic relief. The most common side effects, which are usually mild to moderate and may fade or disappear completely over time, are dry mouth and drowsiness. Other more serious side effects can include growing and repairing brain cells and DNA, or improve vision, may prevent Alzheimer's, dementia, glaucoma, nausea, and suicide, may provide relief from autism, asthma, anorexia, arthritis, AIDS, cancer, Crohn's, depression, epilepsy, fibromyalgia, gout, IBS, insomnia, MS, migraine, pain, Parkinson's, PTSD, and spasticity. Use caution while driving or doing other physical activities until you know how cannabis affects you. May cause paranoia or nervousness, specifically caused by real-life government intervention in your quest for life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness in the USA. Ask your doctor if cannabis may be right for you. Brought to you as a public service announcement by the People's Plant, a campaign of conscience.
Hi, my name is Ricky Williams.
My name is Evan Britton.
My name is Mark Costelli.
My name is Boo Williams.
My name is Jim McMahon.
My name is Chris Cluey.
My name is Kyle Turley. I played in one of the major North American football leagues.
I have 2 championship rings from that big game we play at the end of the season.
In college, I won a trophy that looks like this.
I was a punter for 8 seasons, and punters are football players too.
I also wrote the name of the commissioner on my headband, and everyone lost their shit.
The men who play American football are subject to a life of injury,
pain,
and disease,
both during and long after their careers are over.
And that's why I smoke pot.
That's why I smoke cannabis.
That's why I smoke weed. That's why I smoked weed when I played.
It has, without a doubt, reduced the amount of pain I live with.
It's my body. I know.
But for some reason, the major North American non-Canadian football league refuses to allow players to use cannabis.
Instead of allowing for safe, natural healing,
the sport pushes players towards addictive narcotic painkillers with serious side effects.
So let's get real, Roger.
Football players should be allowed to use medicinal marijuana
without the stigma of it being a banned substance.
Cannabis isn't a drug.
It is a medicine.
We are back. Now tuned to 710 Radio, Rosemary's World of Cannabis. Hey, good afternoon, Dr. Carol. How would you like to be pronounced, Doctor? Because you have earned your MD, and I don't want to be disrespectful in any kind of way. So how would you like to be addressed?
People call me Dr. Caroline. That's fine. It's Dr. Caroline Hartridge.
Okay, Dr. Caroline, I appreciate that. First and foremost, I am truly blown away. I mean, wow. Girl, you wear many hats. I mean, the board of directors, you can try. Medical director at CB, I hope I pronounced this, Cribelis, president in Hartridge Care Solutions. You are a busy lady.
I wear a few different hats.
That is outstanding. So, out of all of them, which is your I know everybody has a passion. Which is your greatest passion out of everything that you're doing right now?
I think I feel pretty blessed because all of these things have come together under a greater passion of just here to be of service and to learn and share that knowledge with others. And I feel like I'm able to do that through my private practice, through cannabis education and advocacy, through plant-based nutrition, and through the free medical clinics. So all of the stuff that I'm doing, I think, still falls under, I'm learning things that I'm passionate about, and I'm able to turn around and use that as service.
Wow, that is incredible. But I just heard you say free health care. That is unheard of. Would you like to elaborate on that a little bit more, if you don't mind?
Sure. In October, after the storms of Irma and Maria, I went with a group of healthcare providers to Puerto Rico and Cape Verde, and we were following a search and rescue team that had already been down there and did a few house calls and then ended up setting up free medical services out of an abandoned hospital that search and rescue team had also kind of helped prepare and clean out for us. And over the past few months, we've been able to take all of these donations and volunteers and work with a gentleman named Corey Fritz, who's the founder of One Human Family Coalition. And we've got a free clinic now running out of the abandoned hospital in Cape Verde in Puerto Rico. And we have volunteers in and out of there. Everything has really been privately donated. It's been a miraculous effort.
Wow. I've been hearing about some of that on the news, but wow. I mean, I'm just blown away. And also that you just recently done Women Grow. You, like I said, you're very busy. What was your aspect of Women's Grow? I've never talked to anybody about it. I've always read their articles.
Right. The New York Women Grow chapter has been very supportive of my business, and I wanted to go out to the summit in Colorado and Denver and meet everybody. So that was one of my first summits and really exposure into the national community of cannabis, and saw a bunch of different speakers, met wonderful people, and really felt embraced by the cannabis community.
Yes, indeed. Speaking of Denver, I love Denver myself. They really do embrace you. I miss Denver a lot. I lived there for a year, and I got to work with some of the top names in the cannabis field. And let me tell you, there are some beautiful people out there, and they'll do anything they can to help you out. So I'm glad you got a chance to meet those great people.
For sure. It was neat to see everybody come together and to feel that New York and New Jersey presence so strongly in Colorado was great. So the Women Grow group of the East Coast has just been, it's a powerhouse. And I'm really privileged to be able to go to meetings with these women and use their resources to help support grow my business.
Oh, wow. And I understand, I see that you're an author. You like to talk a little bit about your book?
Oh, it's not out yet, but as I have been sharing the stories of osteopathic medicine and plant-based nutrition and cannabis, different stories have come together and been encouraged to write those down and come into a collection. So keep tuned for more details on that.
Okay, I will have to. I'm a great lover of reading. And so this is definitely a must come back, because I have to get a copy of your book, read it, and we'd have to come back and have you come back on the air and talk about it. And I definitely want to do a review on it. Especially, I understand that you're living a vegan lifestyle.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and have you been, this is the question I must ask. Have you always been a vegan, or is this something you did in the last few years, or?
I've been an omnivore, I've been a vegetarian. I went plant-based during my 4th year of medical school after doing a live-in wellness program with Dr. McDougall in Northern California. And I was vegetarian at that point, mostly plant-based, but still having probably 2 to 3 servings of either butter or cheese a week. And after doing doing 3 or 4 days of the pure plant-based diet at Dr. McDougall's Live and Wellness program, I actually called in Stanford and canceled elective surgery I had scheduled for endometrial ablation, which is, again, like kind of a whole nother conversation. But it personally changed my quality of life, and I watched 40 patients transform over a week. And so it's changed the way I practice medicine. It really exposed me to a body of evidence I didn't know existed.
Wow, you just perked my ears up, and we definitely, that's 2 shows, because when you said endometriosis, I probably didn't pronounce it correctly, but I know what it is. I was affected by it. Mm-hmm. So, yes, you definitely got my attention real quick. So, anytime you want to come back and talk about that, doctor, I'll be happy. As a matter of fact, we can talk about it now, because that is extremely
I think there's
important.
A lot to speak about, and it connects to cannabis. You know, whether you consider nutrition a drug or toxicity, you know, it is a way of nourishing or toxifying your body. And what you choose to eat can change your expression of a disease state. So I personally experienced the decrease in inflammation and how that had my different symptoms, different, decrease in their expression. And I've watched a lot of patients be able to get off handfuls of prescription meds by just changing what they're eating. Not even doing crazy exercise, just changing what they're eating. And we can get them off, blood pressure medications, diabetes medications, cholesterol medications, anti-anxiety and depression medications, neuropathy medications, rheumatoid arthritis medications. The list just really goes on.
Wow, you done hit several key points for me, so I'm definitely interested in finding out more, because the high blood pressure definitely affects me, the arthritis affects me, and I have family members on both sides, my husband and myself, have several people that suffer with diabetes. So if I can do anything to help them to change the quality of their life, I'm all ears.
Yeah, I think there's so many materials and resources out there, and you're welcome to start at my website. I kind of take you out on a link journey from there to other resources that I think are useful. But it comes down to eating whole, identifiable foods from the earth as much as you can. And then if if it's not able to do that, then you get the baked potato over the French fries. Or you just make the best choice you can wherever you're at, and you try and move forward. But I think if you're honest about trying to maximize whole identifiable foods and minimize the crap, you will feel a difference.
Yeah, because I've already started taking things out of my diet I can't pronounce, so I'm working my way back to...
Start reading labels.
Yes.
Start being accountable for what you're putting into your body. No one else is choosing to do that but you. No one else is putting that fork in your mouth or putting your hand to your mouth, so it's up to you. And you've got the eyes and brains to read it. And if you don't understand it, or it is coming in packaging and it needs preservatives to sit on that shelf, then it's probably not something that's going to help contribute towards your desired quality of life of healing.
Yeah, that is so true, because what made me start doing this like 7 years ago, they wanted to increase my blood pressure medication, and they were saying everything had salt in it. So I started reading everything about the salt levels. Everything I picked up, the sodium levels was literally out the chain. So now I don't do no box foods. I don't do no canned foods. I mean, I've been eliminating this stuff for the longest, and now I'm trying to go ahead and go vegan. I don't know if I'm gonna make it, because I used to be a vegetarian before I got married, and trying to prepare 2 meals got to be a little tiring. So I kind of gained my ways and watched my weight go up, and my lifestyle with my health go down. So now that I've outlived my mom by 11 years, I'm trying to make sure I can continue that, healthy lifestyle. So yeah. So I know.
And I know people don't love to cook, and we all have busy lives. And there are lots of meal delivery services, prepackaged foods that are conscientious of their sodium and preservative content. And I also am happy to work with patients, and I know there are other health coaches with whom you can connect that can run you through takeout menus, help you pick apart what's already kind of in front of you, and just take it in differently and not have to change so much of your social life, we can help you work through the menus you already have in your drawer. We're just going to do it a little differently.
Oh, okay. So the foods I love, I could still possibly eat, but just a little slight change in it. Because what I experienced last year, for a perfect example, I went to an event called Harvest the Good, which we're having again this year in Charlotte. And they had a vegan chef there. And let me tell you, I bought 3, I'm ashamed, I was literally a pig, because I bought 3 plates of this food. It was so good. It was so clean. I mean, as I'm talking to you right now, I can still smell it and taste it. It was the best meal I ever had.
I think that's the most consistent feedback I get from people is once you start to have that clean fuel and you explore all those flavors and textures and spices, you're not going to miss it. You're going to feel better. Your taste buds are going to be able to taste more once you take out all that fat. I mean, it literally blunts your taste buds. So you start to kind of wake up and taste and smell and feel different, and you don't want to go back. You don't feel like you're losing out.
No, and eating like that, if I could eat that type of way each and every day, I would be so happy, because the food was delicious. And like I said, I bought 3 plates. They like, you back? I like, yeah, I'm taking some home. I said the first box didn't make it home, so I'm taking 2 more with me. And that's the matter of fact, the person that was with me, a friend of mine, he heard how good it was. He took my plate, so I only wound up taking 1 back. So I'm looking forward to meeting this guy again, and I'm going to definitely get his number and find out where his restaurant is, because he's going to have a regular patron until I can figure out how to do this on my own, because the food is just that good.
Right. Well, and I think it leads directly, what you put into your body with the food really linked in my practice to the type of medicine I was advising patients to take. I was walking through the risk-to-benefit ratio of do nothing all the way to chemotherapy and surgery and radiation. But what we have to talk about is consistent with your desired quality of life. And when we start to talk through the risk-to-benefit ratio of some of these, let's take metformin, for example, versus maybe altering your diet or taking a bit of cannabis, which is known to neutralize and stabilize that blood sugar, control your hypertension, then when we look at the risk-to-benefit ratio of the medicinal cannabis concentrates in New York versus the metformin, I do have a lot of patients wanting to explore the cannabis instead, just because of the risk-to-benefit ratio and how it is more consistent with their desired quality of life. They're trying to purify. They're trying to reduce the amount of drugs they have in their system. And so maybe using this plant-based medicine is a better way for them to go.
Oh, yeah. I mean, whilst I lived in Denver for a year, the doctors took me off my blood pressure medicine. I've since been put back on it because I'm here in South Carolina. And
right. There's a different, you're in a different legal environment, and we have to respect that. But to know that when it is available and it has a different risk-to-benefit ratio or profile, I felt it was my responsibility as a practitioner to share that with my patients.
And we thank you for doing it, because you're saving lives. I mean, I think about the one of the other doctors I had on about a week ago, and he runs a practice in Florida. And we were talking about the average age of patient. His average age of his patients is 55 and older. And the fact is, some of them had never used cannabis before in their lives.
I know. A lot of my patients are cannabis naive. And, it's important to have patient advocates or cannabis educators to help them walk through that first use and to understand all the different products and the different onset and the different symptom control it can provide. There's a lot of education. It's the same thing, you're a newly diagnosed diabetic. They put you down with a nutritionist and a nurse, and you learn about your insulin and you're checking your blood sugar. And, it's a learning curve. I think it's the same thing when you enter into the cannabis space and looking at it as an alternative medicine.
It is, because
there's a lot of...
It is, because the fact is this: I used cannabis in my life for over 40 years, but not as medical. I haven't been using medically until 2014, when I learned to juice, learned to vape, learned to cook with it and everything else. That just changed my whole world into microdosing as of now. But beforehand, I was just smoking and enjoying the high. Now I'm finding out how good I've been treating my body all this time and not knowing it. So what I'm seeing is that has probably gave me more longer longevity than it did as my mother and my grandmother, because both of them passed away before they reached age of 60. My mother passed away at 44. My grandmother passed away at 57.
You know, there are studies that show on a cellular level that it's neuroprotective. And we can actually compare, you know, for the people that are smoking it, the cannabis smokers versus the tobacco smokers, and see that they have improved VO2 max and pulmonary outcomes. So it really is better for you than a lot of other things out there.
Yes,
it is. There's a lot of education and a lot more research that we could be doing.
Yeah, I'll be glad when that happens. It's bad that we have to depend on other countries' information instead of here in the U.S. That's really sad. I'm hoping that we can get something done in D.C. so that can change, because that I'll be patient number one. I'm raising my hand. Hey, y'all want to study? Hey, you got a patient right here. I'll be glad to give up any DNA, whatever you need to get this done, because it's so important. I mean, I think about if we had, for the last, say for instance, 10 years of research on the plant itself and people that use it from all age groups and everything else, can you imagine how far we would be right now?
Yes. I think we have a lot of people willing to participate, but in order to have it stand up against other scientific papers or outcomes, there's a lot of infrastructure we need in place first, and we have to go through the process. But I hear you. I think there are a lot of patients willing to participate in those studies, and I think particularly I was looking. I think I saw from my research on your profile, you're a veteran.
Yes, I am.
And so I thank you for your service, and I know quite a few veterans who, would gladly share their experiences with cannabis and how it's helped them versus other medications, and maybe even exit off some stronger medications. So I think we have a beautiful population there willing to share their experiences.
Yeah, I've found that out since I've been doing this for radio for the past, going into my 5th year, that we have so many people from all walks of life that love to share about cannabis. But the one that always sticks out to me was the very first interview I did with this station in Denver. And I remember him telling me his name is Olaf. Olaf is there in New York right now, and he was on 22 different medications for anxiety, and he just named off. He just name. And so we sat and talked, and I was telling him how good cannabis was and how it would, help me. And I have a total knee replacement. This is my 3rd. I used cannabis the whole time to heal with. I didn't use I've used maybe about less than 5% of my total painkillers for the whole while.
Right.
And I was telling him about the other surgeries, and I had did the other same thing with that and everything. So when he went back to New York, he decided to make a change, and now he's out there telling other people about cannabis. He's now pill-free. He takes no medication.
Amazing.
And he has me to thank for it. And I told him, no. I said, you did this on your own. I said, I just pointed you in the right direction. And so when I think about that story and think about the things I've seen in my lives and other people's lives, and like you said, a lot of veterans, we have a huge problem because we have a lot of veterans want to use, but due to the VA, they can't, because if they use it, they can lose their benefits, which is really bad. And this is in states where there has cannabis. So I'm trying to figure out a way that we can get that done.
I have patients that specifically were coming from a cannabis legal state, Puerto Rico, came to New York because of housing and inability to get access to the resources in Puerto Rico. and then was taken very good care of through the Veterans Association very quickly once we got the patient back here. However, once the patient was transferred into housing, there was, the patient was known that if they could do random drug screening.
Oh, wow.
And that would be inconsistent with their housing policy, even though she's a patient.
Wow.
So that was one we had to delicately navigate. And again, speak of the risk-to-benefit ratio of certain medicines versus others, and looking at your housing situation and whether or not it's appropriate. But that was a new one for me.
That is, I've never heard of that.
Yeah.
That set me a bit.
Again, there's a lot of room for education, and I think there's, we really have to respect the paradigm in which we exist and acknowledge that there is still some inconsistency between the federal and state, and that's just where we are right now.
Okay. Well, what we're going to do, Dr. Caroline, we're going to go ahead and take this quick break, let everybody stretch their legs and everything, because we have bended their ear for the past 26 minutes. Go ahead and give them a chance to do what they got to do. They might need to roll up another one or load their bowl or go relieve themselves. So anyway, whatever they got to do, we're going to give them that opportunity. We're going to give y'all a couple commercials, and me and the doctor going to come back, and we're going to talk more about her work, and where she sees herself in a few years. You're in tune to 710 Radio, the Wake and Bake Show. Oh, excuse me. Wrong show, wrong time. I do 2 shows, doctor. Excuse me. Rosemary's World of Cannabis. We'll be back.
Hi, my name is Ricky Williams.
My name is Evan Britton.
My name is Mark Rostelli.
My name is Boo Williams.
My name is Jim McMahon.
My name is Chris Cluey.
My name is Kyle Turley. I played in one of the major North American football leagues.
I have 2 championship rings from that big game we play at the end of the season.
In college, I won a trophy that looks like this.
I was a punter for 8 seasons, and punters are football players too.
I also wrote the name of the commissioner on my headband, and everyone lost their shit.
The men who play American football are subject to a life of injury,
pain,
and disease,
both during and long after their careers are over.
And that's why I smoke pot.
That's why I smoke cannabis.
That's why I smoke weed. That's why I smoked weed when I played.
It has, without a doubt, reduced the amount of pain I live with.
It's my body. I know.
But for some reason, the major North American non-Canadian football league refuses to allow players to use cannabis.
Instead of allowing for safe, natural healing,
the sport pushes players towards addictive narcotic painkillers with serious side effects.
So let's get real, Roger.
Football players should be allowed to use medicinal marijuana
without the stigma of it being a banned substance.
Cannabis isn't a drug.
It is a medicine.
Are you feeling like a shadow of yourself? Is your mood on its way down? You could be suffering from low THC, also known as cannabinoid deficiency, caused by 77 years of government interference via prohibition. Do you live in a medical cannabis state or the District of Columbia? Are you over the age of 18 and seeking non-toxic natural health, well-being, and peace of mind? Ask your doctor if cannabis may be right for you. After 10,000 years of recorded human use and 77 years of failed prohibition on the world's most extensively tested plant, the results are in. Cannabis has no known lethal dose and is arguably the safest and most comprehensive therapeutic substance known to man. Cannabis remained in the United States pharmacopoeia until 1941, and cannabinoids are currently patented by the federal government as an anti-inflammatory, U.S. Patent 6630507. Human brains have cannabinoid receptors. Cannabinoids are lubricants in the human body. Due to prohibition, our bodies have been denied essential lubrication. Imagine never changing or adding to the oil in your car. The use of cannabis for low THC may cause immediate relief, including a general feeling of well-being, chronic smiling or laughing, feelings of euphoria, increased creativity or clarity, a greater appreciation for music and art, the desire to dance, increased feelings of inspiration, compassion or unity, a need for truth and justice, or you may wake feeling more well-rested than usual. It's undetermined to know exactly how many symptoms the use of cannabis may alleviate because of federal prohibition. There were dozens identified in the 1909 Eli Lilly Pharmaceutical Handbook. Currently, over 80% of the population supports the right to use cannabis therapeutically, and 92% of its users have declared significant non-toxic relief. The most common side effects, which are usually mild to moderate and may fade or disappear completely over time, are dry mouth and drowsiness. Other more serious side effects can include growing and repairing brain cells and DNA or improve vision, may prevent Alzheimer's, dementia, dementia, glaucoma, nausea, and suicide. May provide relief from autism, asthma, anorexia, arthritis, AIDS, cancer, Crohn's, depression, epilepsy, fibromyalgia, gout, IBS, insomnia, MS, migraine, pain, Parkinson's, PTSD, and spasticity. Use caution while driving or doing other physical activities until you know how cannabis affects you. May cause paranoia or nervousness specifically caused by real-life government intervention in your quest for life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness in the USA. Ask your doctor if cannabis may be right for you. Brought to you as a public service announcement by the People's Plant, a campaign of conscience.
And we're back. Me and the doctor was talking offline. She is, boy, you talking about busy. Hey, Dr. Caroline, would you like to go ahead and let everybody know what you're going to get into?
So, we were just chatting about what's coming up and opportunities for education and meeting in person. And I'm going to be speaking with Honeysuckle Magazine tomorrow, Wednesday the 11th. And that will be at Kelly Bar in New York City. And it starts at 5 p.m. So if you want to look for details on that, you can go to Honeysuckle's website or check them out on Facebook. And then moving forward from there, if you're out in LA, I will be at an event on the 18th in Santa Monica where you can check out my CBD product line, and you can link to that on my Facebook page. And then I will be speaking at Davidson College on the 23rd about how my experience at Davidson with the Outdoors Club and the Environmental Action Coalition and the Pre-Med Society helped build a foundation for where I find myself in my career today. And so that will be Davidson College in the evening on April 23rd. And if you're curious about that, please feel free to message me on Facebook or through my website. And then finally, back to the Women Grow, kind of bringing us full circle, I am going to be speaking with Maureen McNamara, founder of Cannabis Trainers and Women Grow member. And we are going to be speaking about cannabis and how to grow your business on Monday, April 30th, and that will be 4:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And you can also link to that either through the Cannabis Trainers or on my Facebook page. So lots of opportunities coming up to share the knowledge and ask questions and dig in together.
Wow, you stay quite busy. I know your frequent flyer miles are off the chain. Wow. Yeah. So when is the next time you will be back in the Puerto Rico area?
So I'm trying to get to Puerto Rico in May. Mm-hmm. The founder of the One Human Family Coalition, Corey Fritz, he moved down to Puerto Rico, and he'll be coming back up to do some speaking engagements and fundraising. So we're trying to overlap doing that together in New York and then heading back over to the clinic for a little bit.
Oh, okay, that is great. Yeah, because I know there are already people are talking about fears already in Puerto Rico with us coming on the upcoming hurricane season June 1st.
Yeah, it's, I think the reality is Irma and Maria were not the first or the second. They're certainly not the last. This is an opportunity to address infrastructure on a more sustainable level. And I think that's what we're trying to do with the clinic, and that's what I've been witnessing people doing in their rebuilding efforts.
Yeah, they've been having a lot of rebuilding.
There's been storms already coming through. The island is constantly responding to the dynamic aspect of being an island. And they're looking towards that next season. So the help is still needed. The town where the clinic's located in Quebra Diaz about 2 weeks ago went 12 or 13 days without water. So there's still a lot of help that's needed, and it'll be ongoing.
Yeah, that's why I bring up that point, because I think about what growing up in Florida, and remember when we had all the hurricanes and everything, and we're in Florida, and we feel the blunt of a lot of them, but Puerto Rico, I mean, when we talking dead on strike, we're talking dead on strike, and for those people who have never lived in those areas, they don't understand what the need is. It takes years, and I do mean years, to get your quality of life back, if ever in some cases. and how devastated Puerto Rico was. It is a true blessing that they have came round to the point they are right now. I know it's a lot of work yet to be done, but it's amazing that they made it that far with such devastation they had there on the island.
The resiliency and passion and gratitude and joy and faith I have seen in those people is inspiring. It really is. So special community, special group of people, and I know I'm blessed and privileged to be able to participate and be of service down there.
Well, I'm honored to be able to even speak on it, because the point of it is this: I have a lot of friends that lived in Puerto Rico, have since moved to the U.S., to Florida and beyond, and I remember how they talked about so much growing up in Puerto Rico and fond memories and the experience of growing up on an island. And we kind of shared, kind of joke. They said, yeah, you live on a peninsula, I lived on an actual island, that type of mentality. So if you can help people, you know, the need is there. So that's why I'm bringing this up today. It's still a lot of things that's needed there in Puerto Rico, as far as medical supplies, water. I mean, the list can go on and on. Matter of fact, I have friends in Puerto Rico right now that's still there trying to help with the relief efforts. So, and they talk about every day of, you know, things, triumphs, and then, you know, a lot of red tape just to get stuff over there in certain cases. So I'm hoping they're working out the logistics on that.
That's why, you know, we've been doing what we've been doing, is that sometimes it's tough to work within the legal infrastructure, or, you know, to get everything through the normal check boxes. And so privately, we can get a lot of these donations exactly where they need to be. Not to say that the Red Cross and FEMA aren't out there doing it. It's just, it's challenging sometimes for them to do it the way they have to. And so we've been able to demonstrate the ability to get very specific and large quantities of supplies to the people that need it, and document that and get that back to the donors. And it's been very successful.
Yeah. Because I know Samaritan's Purse was over there at one point. Are they still there?
Yeah.
Yeah, for those who don't know who Samaritan's Purse is, it's a large organization out of Charlotte. And every time something goes down, they're on the front lines. I think they even beat FEMA out there, you know. They're like the first responders. They help out with food, clothing, anything that you need right after the disaster. They really help out on. So the reason I'm saying that is to help them out on donations as well, because they are a nonprofit as well, and they do a ton of work. And these last couple of years, they've been extremely busy doing all this good work. And most of them, I do believe 90% of them are volunteers. So, yeah, help them out if you can.
Right, wherever you're inspired, and I think you've helped shine light with your experiences and being in the Southeast. That people need help everywhere. People have been affected by these storms and our climate everywhere, from New York to Virginia to Texas to Florida and beyond. So wherever you're inspired or you have a passionate connection, ask there, donate there. Everybody needs it.
Exactly. Well, Doc, we're going to go ahead and do this wrap up today. And you got any websites or anything you want to pass out, or numbers?
Yeah,
hey, go ahead. As much as you want to put out there, the floor is yours.
I'd invite people to check out drhartridge.com. So that's drhartridge.com, and that's my private practice. And then I also welcome you to explore drhhs.com, and that stands for Dr. Hartridge's Healthcare Solutions, and that is my CBD isolate product line, and you can purchase that online and ship anywhere. And certainly you're welcome to check me out on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter. And then finally, if you are inspired to participate in the Puerto Rican relief effort. The nonprofit for which I work and run the medical clinic is called OneHumanFamilyCoalition.org. And you can either find that on the internet or Facebook. So those are the places I would ask you to explore with your time online. And if any of it resonates with you, please know I am here to be of service.
Wow, Doctor, thank you again so much for taking. I know we normally would do an hour show, but I know you're busy, and wow. Like I said, I'm really blown away that you've done so much in this community, and I'm honored to have this interview with you once again. And I'm looking forward to us working together to get help that you need in Puerto Rico, and any other way I can help you whatsoever. If you need to come on and talk about your book or your research or whatever you're doing, you have me at your disposal.
I really appreciate that, Rosemary. Thank you so much for the support and the opportunity.
Well, thank you for taking your time out your such busy day. busy lady. And you have a great day, and I can't wait to see you back in North Carolina on the 23rd.
All right. I hope to see you at Davidson.
All right, then you take care and have a great afternoon.
All right.
Take care.
You as well. Talk to you soon.
Mm-hmm. Bye. Hey guys, that was the doctor. I mean, wow. I mean, that lady keeps her head busy. When I say busy, that's a busy woman. So I hope you can go out and support her, because she has supported the cannabis community in a big way, and I mean huge. I mean, doing work in Puerto Rico with the hurricane relief and opening up a free clinic. She has won my heart right there like that. So please give if you can. Check out all the websites. We're going to go ahead and do these last couple public service announcements, and we're going to end it a little early. I don't know what I got. I think I got whatever's going around right now, because I really feel bad. So for those who wonder why I'm cutting the show short, that's part of the reason, because I feel like crap. Anyway, you tune to 710 Radio, Rosemary's World of Cannabis. We'll be right back to do the close.
Are you feeling like a shadow of yourself? Is your mood on its way down? You could be suffering from low THC, also known as cannabinoid deficiency, caused by 77 years of government interference via prohibition. Do you live in a medical cannabis state or the District of Columbia? Are you over the age of 18 and seeking non-toxic natural health, well-being, and peace of mind? Ask your doctor if cannabis may be right for you. After 10,000 years of recorded human use and 77 years of failed prohibition on the world's most extensively tested plant, the results are in. Cannabis has no known lethal dose and is arguably the safest and most comprehensive therapeutic substance known to man. Cannabis remained in the United States pharmacopoeia until 1941, and cannabinoids are currently patented by the federal government as an anti-inflammatory. U.S. Patent 6630507. Human brains have cannabinoid receptors. Cannabinoids are lubricants in the human body. Due to prohibition, our bodies have been denied essential lubrication. Imagine never changing or adding to the oil in your car. The use of cannabis for low THC may cause immediate relief, including a general feeling of well-being, chronic smiling or laughing, feelings of euphoria, increased creativity or clarity, a greater appreciation for music and art, the desire to dance, increased feelings of inspiration, compassion or unity, a need for truth and justice, or you may wake feeling more well-rested than usual. It's undetermined to know exactly how many symptoms the use of cannabis may alleviate because of federal prohibition. There were dozens identified in the 1909 Eli Lilly Pharmaceutical Handbook. Currently, over 80% of the population supports the right to use cannabis therapeutically, and 92% of its users have declared significant non-toxic relief. The most common side effects, which are usually mild to moderate and may fade or disappear completely over time, are dry mouth and drowsiness. Other more serious side effects can include growing and repairing brain cells and DNA, or improve vision, may prevent Alzheimer's, dementia, glaucoma, nausea, and suicide, may provide relief from autism, asthma, anorexia, arthritis, AIDS, cancer, Crohn's, depression, epilepsy, fibromyalgia, gout, IBS, insomnia, MS, migraine, pain, Parkinson's, PTSD, and spasticity. Use caution while driving or doing other physical activities until you know how cannabis affects you. May cause paranoia or nervousness, specifically caused by real-life government intervention in your quest for life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness in the USA. Ask your doctor if cannabis may be right for you. Brought to you as a public service announcement by the People's Plant, a campaign of conscience.
Hi, my name is Ricky Williams.
My name is Evan Britton.
My name is Mark Costelli.
My name is Boo Williams.
My name is Jim McMahon.
My name is Chris Cluey.
My name is Kyle Turley. I played in one of the major North American football leagues.
I have 2 championship rings from that big game we play at the end of the season.
In college, I won a trophy that looks like this.
I was a punter for 8 seasons, and punters are football players too.
I also wrote the name of the commissioner on my headband, and everyone lost their shit.
The men who play American football are subject to a life of injury,
Pain,
And disease.
both during and long after their careers are over.
And that's why I smoke pot.
That's why I smoke cannabis.
That's why I smoke weed. That's why I smoked weed when I played.
It has, without a doubt, reduced the amount of pain I live with.
It's my body. I know.
But for some reason, the major North American non-Canadian Football League refuses to allow players to use cannabis.
Instead of allowing for safe natural healing,
The sport pushes players towards addictive narcotic painkillers with serious side effects.
So let's get real, Roger.
Football players should be allowed to use medicinal marijuana
Without the stigma of it being a banned substance.
Cannabis isn't a drug.
It is a medicine.
And we're back. Hey guys, we appreciate you tuning in today to 710 Radio, Rosemary's World of Cannabis. Thank you, Dr. Caroline Hartridge, MD, from the Charlotte area. Thank you so very much for taking time out your day for doing the interview with us. I really appreciate it, and I can't wait to read her book and start the diet that she's talking about. I'm going on the web pages to check it out, because if it's going to help me to live longer and to be healthy, I've already outlived my mom. I want to outlive my grandmother, which I only have one more year to go. But I want to be beyond that. I want to be in my 80s, 90s, possibly 100s. So if I can do that by changing my diet, you better believe I'm going to check it out. So I hope you do too. For now, guys, thank you, Rick, for letting me do what I do Tuesdays and Thursdays from 12 to 1 o'clock, normally Eastern Standard Time. Today is an exception because I did have the doctor on. She is in New York taking care of business, and I didn't want to delay her that long. So she was gracious enough to give us that interview. And on top of that, I really feel like crap, guys. I'm serious. Whatever virus they got out in the air right now, it truly sucks. So we will talk to y'all again on Thursday with Elevated Ellen. For now, y'all have a great day. Peace out.